Thank you for listening to the Golden Hour Drip podcast with me, Logan Lee Miller. Enjoy the show. Welcome back to the Golden Hour Drip podcast. I am your host, Logan Lee Miller, and I'm gonna have to get like a little table beside my podcast chair because I'm recording in the morning, and this is a bit different for me. Usually I'm recording at night. I'm recording in the evening, afternoon. Hardly ever am I recording before 8 a.m. Like, this is absolutely insane to me. But that means I have my coffee, and my coffee is only like halfway done, okay? I've only drank a little bit of this, and for me, coffee is everything, okay? We got a Bambino espresso machine around Christmas time, so I've had it for a good, I'm gonna say 2 months now, and I've loved every single minute of it. I personally stopped drinking Celsius or Red Bull. Oh my gosh, Red Bull. I really do love Red Bull with all of my heart. It's unfortunate because there are no sugar-free options of the flavored Red Bull, and the strawberry apricot is my favorite hands down. The additives are insane, and they honestly aren't a sustainable type of energy drink to, continuously have every single day. I only allow myself like one every once in a while, and it's usually when I'm traveling and there's no coffee around. But no Alana News, no pre-workout, none of that. We have been strictly drinking coffee, and I just think that I don't know, some people don't think that coffee is like clean, but for me it's like a cleaner energy because it's not manufactured. Like, I get that coffee beans essentially like are manufactured. They have to rot, they have to be roasted, they have to be ground. But I don't know, like something about coffee is a little bit more natural in my mind. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe, the chemical breakdown of coffee, energy drinks are better. I don't know. Okay, personally, I don't. But I really and truly look forward to my coffee every single morning. And sometimes that is what gets me out of bed. I'm thinking about my coffee. I'm like, I'm going to get to make it. And it's not even the fact that it takes work to make yourself a cup of coffee. If you have an espresso machine at home, you are, tamping down 18 grams of coffee. You are trying to press it. You want to make sure that it's an even pull. You have to clean the machine. If you are making a hot coffee, you have to froth your milk, make sure it's up to temperature. Lately, I've been struggling with my foam. It's been real unfortunate, but coffee is it's my favorite thing. Okay, I love to have it. And while I was getting ready to record, I was like, oh my gosh, I have like the rest of my coffee left over. Where am I gonna put it? Like, I don't want to forget about it because I do that, okay, where I will leave half empty cups. I would say this is definitely my not red flag. I almost said red frog. This is definitely like my red flag, or maybe my warning label, right? Like, this is heinous, okay? I love the clean girl aesthetic. I really do, and I strive for it every single day. It's something that I love, but just like anything in your life, you cannot have all 3 balls in the air or all 6 balls, like juggling balls, if you know what I mean. You cannot constantly have everything at all times. And sometimes the house cleaning goes by the wayside, okay? And it's not necessarily dirty, right? But I will say, sometimes my coffee, I will have left it in an area and it has started to mold, which personally, I'm not scared of mold. I do like seeing mold. It, to me, signifies that there's not preservatives in whatever food product that is molding. So it makes me feel good, honestly, when things mold. But I will have like a cup of coffee in the bathroom that I keep forgetting about. Like, it's right behind my mirror, like my makeup mirror. And when I'm getting ready, I'll be sipping my coffee. And sometimes there's like 2 coffees in the bathroom, and then there's a coffee in my office, and then there's a coffee, on the kitchen table that I've forgotten about. And then when I go to make my coffee, these little, if you're watching on YouTube, by the way, we're on YouTube, these little mugs, I only have 4 of them. I picked them up from Marshall's. I do love them so much. Very aesthetic, very clean girl, very cute, very pretty. I only have 4 of them though. So if I have a coffee in there and a coffee in here and a coffee there, and I go to make my coffee and I'm like, crap, like I don't have any coffee cups. And so that means I either have to wash the molded coffee cup or I throw them in the dishwasher because I feel like it's more sanitizing. Like it's more bleaching and more cleanliness, right? So I'll throw them in the wash machine, and then I have to have like a ceramic mug, which I love ceramic mugs as well. But there's something about like seeing the foam, seeing the coffee in the clear cup that I really do love. But yeah, a bit of a rotten girl. If you've listened to Emma Chamberlain, no, not Emma Chamberlain, who, I am so sorry. Madeline with the Pretty Lonesome podcast. I just listened to one of her episodes about Rotten Girl. I was like, oh my gosh, actually, like, I kind of align with this. As much as I want to be a clean girl, as much as I do, and I strive for it, right? Like, I want to be a clean girl. Sometimes I am a rotten girl, like she said. Like, sometimes I am a little bit rotten, and I feel like my mindset is not the best when it's like this. And I look around, and like to the left of me there is like a stack of books and picture frames and old journals from the Golden Gal Network January event. I have laundry galore, and for me, I'm just thinking, okay, is it actually going to help or hurt if I sit down and clean for the next like 3 hours or whatever? And right now I've been doing so much and trying to make sure that all my balls are in the air, and guess what? I'm dropping the cleanliness ball right now, and that's okay. Spring is coming. Yesterday I had the door wide open. I was carrying things in from my vehicle, and I just left the door open, which was really unfortunate. Because that morning I'd woken up so cold. Like right now in February, Missouri, it's like it could be warm, it could be cold, and I love it when it's warm, and I like left the door open, but that morning I woke up so cold. And this is definitely Missouri weather, right? Like it's colder in the morning, super, super cold. You need to have like a sweatshirt on, you need to be having a jacket, your gloves, whatever. And then mid-afternoon, you're sweltering, you're in a t-shirt and shorts. And that morning I'd woken up pretty cold. So I asked Garrett, I'm like, hey, can we turn the heat on? Because he's in the garage, and the garage is always a little bit colder than the house. And when our house is heated, the garage heats up a little bit more. And so I'm like, can we please just like heat up the house a little? And he had agreed. And so I turned it up, and then by mid-afternoon, it was so nice out, I had forgotten that the heat was on. I opened up the door, and I'm just letting all of the beautiful spring, it's still winter, but you know, crisp air come into the house. And Garrett comes in, and he's like, okay, you know, it's a bit warm outside. It's also very hot in our house now. And I run a little bit cold, you know, I like to have my socks on. I like to make sure that my little heater is on by my feet. I love all those things. So our house was heating up quite a bit, but I don't know, like it's just a season right now. And when I say a season, it could be a week, it could be a day, it could be a couple days. Our house is just messy, and I know that part of it is because we got a new table last weekend or the week before. No, it's definitely last weekend because we celebrated Golden Hour Drip's 4th birthday, which was insane. But we picked up a new table off Facebook Marketplace, so new to us. I just get so tired of the box stores, everything looking exactly the same. I want a little bit of character in our house. Our house is like definitely just no character right now. It needs some character. And this table is a wooden table, and it has like, I don't know, I really wanted cane chairs. I've been looking for them. I think they're beautiful. And I found some cane chairs that they were affordable. Like we got 6 chairs, a table with 2 leaves, and it's a rounded table. I've been wanting a rounded table for so long. I feel like it's more of a family style vibe because the square table that we have has corners, and I feel like that cuts off like playing games. You have to be on one corner or the other, and I want to be playing more board games in this house and playing more card games and hosting more people. So I was like, okay, a rounded table is where it's at. Well, we have the new table, and then we also have the old table. And if it's just like the empty chair theory. I have an empty chair right next to me and it's filled with crap. When you have something that can store items, you are going to use that thing that is going to store items. So that table now has a couple items on it. And we're using both tables and the island to store just like crap. And I know as soon as Garrett's cousin Chase comes and picks up the table, that it will open up that area and we will be able to, well, we'll be forced to clean the white table so that he can take it home. And also, like, our guest room has the 6 extra chairs. So extra furniture in the house obviously feels like a little bit of a mess. On top of that, our dishwasher has started to flood again. It's February. It always floods during this time. I don't know if it's the groundwater and that the pipes that we have in this house, we built on top of them. Like, the plumbing was already here. And I don't know if, like, the pipes have roots growing in them or something, and it's just like backing up our dishwasher, or if we need to change the filter on it. I don't know. It's really problematic. I've had to spoon out, or I take this little mini shot glass that we have, not a mini shot glass, it's a regular size shot glass, but I take the shot glass and I'm like pouring it into a mason jar, to pour into a bucket, to pour into the sink, and I'm over it. So we also have been having to hand wash all of our dishes. Not a big deal, except for I don't have time. Like, I love a dishwasher. I love the convenience of just like throwing things in, having them washed, and being able to put them away the next morning. I just love modern conveniences, and I'm really missing my dishwasher right now. It's making me sad, and it's definitely contributing to the rotten girl, okay? Like, there's just dishes everywhere and 2 tables and laundry galore. And it also doesn't help that the past 3 weekends we have had things going on. We haven't been home, and Sunday is literally my sanctuary, okay? Sunday, I don't want to be doing anything. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to go anywhere. Sunday needs to be like my reset day, where I am just, I'm cleaning, I'm picking up. But also, Sunday cannot be like a catch-up work day, as in I cannot be editing, I can't be recording, I can't like do any of those things that require me to like sit. Like when I was doing photos and taking like photographs for people, I couldn't just like edit my photos all day on Sunday if my house wasn't clean. So like for me, Sunday is the perfect day for like cleaning and picking up and vacuuming and just like resetting. And then I want to completely veg out on the couch. I want to rot on the couch from like 2 to, I don't know, 4. Or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8, whatever. I haven't gotten a weekend nap in so long, and that is actually like heinous. I love taking a weekend nap. And this is just like more to come, okay? Like, summer is almost here. I always remind myself that like summer's around the corner. It could be like dead December, and I'm like, oh, summer is coming. And I know like with activities, like it's gonna pick up and I bring it on myself, but you know what? I'm okay with it, okay? Like, I'm looking at her house and I just think, you know what? Yeah, it's a little messy. She could use a bit of a clean, but technically it is not spring yet, and so we don't have to do any like hard cleaning yet. And I have other focuses right now, and it has not been the priority to get things cleaned, but I know that I will have like some manic energy come. I'll be like, actually everything has to be clean. We're bleaching things. We're cleaning the floorboards. We're, done with everything. And that time will come, and I will embrace it when it does. But for right now, we're doing what we can. Okay, we are picking up what we can. We are, just trying to survive. Okay. The leggings I'm wearing right now, I had to quickly throw in the wash last night and dry them so that I was going to be able to wear something today. Garrett, poor guy, he had to wake up early this morning to throw his jeans in the washer. Currently they're in the dryer, so that he could have jeans to wear today. I feel bad for him. I do. Like, nothing has been taken care of. Nothing has been done. I don't regret how I've spent my last couple of weekends, and I know the time is coming. I know that I'm going to have to buckle down and get things cleaned. but it's not going to be this week, because this week I am headed out to Florida. I'm going to visit my two very good friends, bestest friends, Andrew and Rachel. They live in Tampa. And I'm taking a little solo trip to go visit them. It's going to be a blast. I'm going to enjoy it. But I know that like I either need to like buckle down and clean on Monday or Tuesday, right? And I already have plans for Monday. Like I'm a little bummed about that. Like I was supposed to have a bachelor watch night with a couple of my best friends, but I can't get that completed unless my house is done. You know, it's the same rule that your mom had when you went to have a sleepover. You have to first get your work done before you can go play or go spend the night at a friend's house. That's what I'm doing to myself. I'm like, all right, girl, like you've got to get some things done if you want to enjoy, if you want to go hang out with your friends and do these fun things. Like you gotta work first. I'm so sad. I just remembered The Bachelor is on Monday, and I might not get to go to yoga in the afternoon. This is so sad. But I'm flying out on Wednesday, and like desperate measures, like we've got to do something, because it's not fair for me to like leave the house a mess and go on vacation, right? Like I need to put in a little bit of effort, a little bit of work. My main priority, and I know it's gonna come, like I know I'm gonna want to clean very soon. I just don't have the mental capacity. And you know what? Maybe I should clean. Maybe I should buckle down and clean, because I feel like my mind is always awry when the house is a mess and I'm not as productive. It's counterintuitive, right? And I know we've all felt like this, like, oh, I don't feel productive to clean, but I know when the house is clean, like then I will feel productive and I'll feel like executing things and I'll feel like getting things complete and done. And you know what? I haven't been there. Okay. I've not had that. But because my emphasis is entertainment this year and having more friends over, and I'm gonna have to host a bachelor night very soon, right? Like I need to do my due diligence and have the gals over myself. I'm gonna have to clean, right? Like I'm gonna have to get things ready, and that might be a really good motivation to, you know, clean up and do some deep cleaning. We are still adding some furniture to our collection. The kitchen table was like number one on our list, but I still need an ottoman. I still need 2 side tables. I need a side table in here for my coffee, you know, to set my coffee, my Stanley. Right now I've just been like setting them on the floor and I kick them over all the time. So, you know, a new podcast setup would be great. I've been wishing for patio furniture for so long. I just haven't found like patio furniture I really like. And I know that I need to be doubling down and like getting things completed and done in this house, in preparation for summer. You know, they always say what you enjoy in the summertime is from the work that you put in during winter time. And I need to be putting in some work. You know what? I'm kind of motivated right now, and I'd be super motivated if we weren't like leaving today to go watch the Super Bowl. And I would actually probably try and spend the day cleaning, but you know what? We have a family event today. Which brings me, let's get into the peak and the pit of the week. I love this segment. Okay, we're talking about the high, we're talking about the low, and then we're also gonna add like my current read, my book read of the week. So peak, flowers. Oh my gosh, that is the word of the week. And I feel so bad that I'm gonna be leaving because I've had beautiful bouquets. So last week for Golden Hour Drip's 4th anniversary, Garrett got me some yellow roses, and he's like, this is for your podcast anniversary. And then he had gotten me like red and pink roses, and he's like, and these are just because. Amazing, great. I was so happy. And I had gone to Chicago with Lily last week. So coming home, my house was clean. I had flowers. It was like the kitchen was clean, picked up. I've dirtied it very quickly in the time that I've been here. But I felt good. I was like, oh my gosh, like my house is clean. I can breathe. I have fresh cut flowers. Like they're beautiful. And I was so happy. It was like literally the perfect day. We picked up my table. Definitely a high. Okay. Then this week, because I'm leaving on Valentine's Day to fly out, it was the cheapest flight. Like, it was amazing. I love a good cheap flight. I booked these back in November. Maybe it was October. But round trip to Tampa was like, it was going to be, I don't know, like close to $600. And when I booked during their like BOGO sales or whatever, my round trip is like 150, or I think it was 150. 150 round trip there and back, baby. Like, that is chef's kiss. That's amazing. So I have to stay a week though, because it was the cheapest flights. And while I was booking them, I was like, you know, it was during the holidays, low in cash. I was saving on things, and I was like, oh, I'll just stay there for a week. It'll be fine. And I'm flying out on Valentine's Day. So Garrett and I celebrated Valentine's Day this past Friday, and that was so fun. He got me more flowers and a card. And the only problem is that morning I had gone to my hot yoga class. It was so good. It was nice. It was amazing. But I knew that I had the Golden Gal Network event on Saturday, then, like, because this was Friday. So Saturday, I needed to pick up a couple items from Target. And I was hoping that they had like some Valentine's Day themed things. They really didn't. They were pretty much sold out by the time that I got there. All that they had was these like purple little cowboy boots with hearts on them, which were super cute. Okay, I did love them. They were ceramic. They kind of looked like they were hand painted. Like, it was almost like a matte finish. I felt like it was something that I would have painted when I was like 10. They were aesthetic, right? Like, they were very cute, but it did look like a DIY kit. I thought they were cute. I wish that they weren't purple. I wish that they were pink, because if they were pink, I probably would have bought them, but that was it. Like, that was the only Valentine's Day themed item that they had, and I was like, that's okay. That's not really what I'm looking for, but all right. But when I walked into Target, they had tulips. Tulips are my #1 favorite flower of all time. Pink tulips, to be exact. They are just so delicate, so cute, so lovely. I've always loved springtime flowers. A close second is gonna be oh my gosh, what the heck are they called? Zinnias. For a second there, I was thinking like a million different spring flowers. It goes tulips, then my zinnias. Those are my top 2 favorites. I love the zinnias that come back every year, and it is getting close to planting time for my zinnias. But tulips are my favorite. And when I walk in, they had cut tulips, and I immediately went over there. I was like, ooh, cut tulips, like so pretty, so beautiful, I love. And then they had some potted tulips, and I was like, okay, how fun will this be for decor for the Valentine's Day on Saturday? So I picked up 2 containers of the bulb tulips, which had like, I want to say like 6 bulbs in them, so 6 tulips. And then I picked up cut tulips. So I have those, and I bring them home. And so I have my golden yellow roses from last week. I have my pink and red roses from Just Because. Garrett had picked me up pink flowers that morning when he went to work out in town. He had then stopped by and got some flowers. And then here I bring home cut tulips and tulip bulbs that I'm also gonna have. So our table literally had all of the flowers stacked on them. I was in heaven. On top of, I still have my bouquet flower arrangement. It's a flower arrangement from Kennedy when she hosted her little Valentine's Day party. It was like a paint by number, or not a paint by numbers. It was a oh my gosh, a diamond painting. Have you ever diamond painted? I personally, like, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of like focus, but they're kind of fun. There's something so satisfying about the little wax. Because you have a tool that picks up the wax, and you pick up the gems, and then it's essentially like a paint by numbers, but instead of paint, you're applying these gems. It is so fun, and honestly, like, it's very, very satisfying when you're like sticking the gems on. Honestly, like, I had a blast doing it. I had a little cheetah or leopard, if you will, very cute, but she had made us little arrangements. She had picked up flowers, I think, from Trader Joe's, or maybe it was Costco, but she had like is it baby's breath? I don't think it's like the really delicate white flower. It's like a spray of flowers, and also little red. It wasn't really pink. It wasn't light pink. It was more of like a dark pink rose. I also had those. So we had flowers galore in the house this week, and I loved it. I don't know. I love flowers, and I love just looking at pretty things, honestly. And with the house a complete mess, and my table was the only thing that was clean, my new table, not my old table. Old table, she's stacked with things. But seeing all these flowers, I was like, oh, this is heaven. Like I think that fresh cut flowers, although it's very sad because the flower's dead, right? Like it's gonna die, I still love them. I still love them with all my heart, and I think it's so fun to, oh my gosh, I don't know. I know that it seems silly to spend money on something that is going to wilt and die. I get it. Some people don't like fresh cut flowers. I can get my flowers to last 2 to 3 weeks. Like 3 weeks, they're starting to look on the rough side. I could almost say a month with my flowers. And my trick is to clean the water every once in a while. Like I'm talking not like once a week. I'm talking like every couple days. I'll change out the water. I will give them fresh sugar, and then I spray a little bit of bleach in there. Let me tell you, that bleach is a lifesaver, because ultimately what kills your flowers is not lack of water. It's mold, right? I'm happy to see mold. I like mold, but I don't want mold on my flowers because then, you know, they wilt and die. So I'll spray just a little bit of bleach in there to disinfect it so that the water is not growing mold from the decomposition of the flowers, okay? Because that's where it's coming from. And that keeps them fresh for so long. And honestly, I don't see it as a waste, because I'm getting so much like just joy from having them. But I was like, okay, this is a lot of flowers, and the tulips that I purchased for myself, for the Valentine's Day event, I actually did a little raffle. I was like, okay, everyone fold your name tags in half, and put them in this bowl because I need to give away these flowers. Now, pro tip, if you want to find vases, go to a Goodwill, because it is ridiculous. If you go to like Walmart or even like a Dollar Tree or a discount store, a vase is still like $5 or more. Like it could be $10 for a vase. Do you know how many vases I picked up from a Goodwill or a Salvation Army for dollars, like a literal dollar for a vase? People get vases when they order flowers, and then what do they do with the vase? They store it until they have too many vases, and then they're like, what am I supposed to do with these? Throw them away? I love to pick up vases from a Goodwill. There's nothing wrong with it. It's glass, okay? And upcycling is my #1 priority, right? Like I love to just reuse and see if I can reincorporate something that, you know, needs a second life. And that way I put my cut tulips in it, and I was like, I can give away this glass, and it's no big deal, right? Now they have it. So think about the life. This is kind of weird. When I think of an item from Goodwill, I always try to imagine the life it had before me. Like, where was it at before me? Has it had multiple homes before me? You know, when someone donated it and it went to Goodwill, how many times has it been at Goodwill? You know, I just like thinking about that. And then I purchased it and it's at my home and I enjoyed it. And then I gifted it to someone else and now it's in someone else's house. I just love that thought. Okay, like that is so fun for me. And I like to think of myself as a hero for saving, you know, vases or whatever I pick up from a Goodwill store. I like to think I'm saving it. Yeah, you know, like rescuing it. Adoption, it's kind of like adoption, you know, adopting pieces of glass from Goodwill and giving it a new life. It just makes me happy. Hey, I hope that you're enjoying today's podcast episode. Just a quick interruption to let you know that Golden Hour Drip has a weekly newsletter that comes out. This has bonus content, weekly updates, and future event information. If you haven't already, go down to the show notes, click the link, and join today. Now, back to the show. All right, now the pit of the week. I have been getting a little overwhelmed. If you can't tell from my intro, like our house is a little messy, okay? And what I've been like going back on is the 80 rule. I don't know if you've heard of like the 80-20 rule, where it's like 80% of your life should be dedicated and so disciplined, and then 20% you can like do whatever you want. That's not the 80 rule I am talking about. The 80 rule that I'm talking about is when I am 80 years old and I'm sitting in my rocking chair on my front porch, because that's how I envision myself at 80, like enjoying a little cup of coffee. I love coffee, love the vibes, love watching the sunrise or the sunset, listening to the birds, watching my hummingbirds. I love hummingbirds so much, butterflies, all the things. Nature girly, okay? Definitely, I love being outside. So when I'm 80, and I'm rocking on my rocking chair and I'm thinking about my life. Or maybe I have pulled up my podcast and I'm listening back to the trials and tribulations of being 20 years old. Technically, okay, so I started this podcast in 2020. I would have been I would have been 20 when I started it, because I wouldn't have had I think I would have been 21, my bad. I don't know how old I am technically. So yeah, I would have been 21. If we're celebrating, I don't freaking know. It doesn't really matter, okay? I'm actually very mad. I'm horrible at math. I'm actually gonna add it up. I know this should sound like simple math, but I cannot do it. Okay, 1998 divided by 2020. That was wrong. 1998 minus 2020. 22, but I wasn't 22 yet because I had it in February, so I was 21. I was right, okay? I was a fresh-ish. I was 21 when I started this podcast, so it is my 20s. Like, this podcast it's me chatting about my 20s, and you know what? I'll have it in my 30s too, 40s, 50s. Maybe when I'm 80, I will also be recording. But I just see myself listening to hours and hours of me talking about myself, okay? Maybe that's narcissistic to you, but this is a way for me to journal. This is a way for me to sit down and record my thoughts, my feelings, what's been happening in my life. And I really, I do this for you, right? Like, it's me and you, girl, but I'm actually doing it for 80-year-old Logan. But that's not the point of the story. Sorry, we got on a little tangent. So when I'm 80 and I'm rocking in my rocking chair, when I think back to my life, if I'm playing my podcast and I'm thinking to this episode right now today, it's coming out February 12th, when I'm thinking about this podcast episode and I'm listening to my house being a mess, and I'm thinking, you know what, Logan, you were overwhelmed, but are you going to regret staying in and cleaning your house and not doing the activities that you want to do? The last couple weekends, we've been really, really packed. We've been really, really busy. Am I going to regret, last Saturday, Garrett and I spent most of the day at World of Wheels. We went to eat. We went to Goodwill. I found my really pretty plates. And then after that, we came home and we watched a movie and we just relaxed and chilled. Am I going to regret that day? No. If I would have spent that day cleaning instead, or reorganizing, or on my computer, would I have looked back and thought, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that I pounded away at the computer. I'm so glad that, I didn't spend time with my husband, or I didn't go and visit my family, or I didn't go hang out with my friends until 10 or 11 o'clock at night. Which one will I regret more? And so whenever I'm feeling a little bit, not FOMO, it's like the opposite of FOMO. I don't want to go out. I don't want to interact with people. I want to just sleep on the couch, or I want to, clean the bathroom or do something alone. I think, oh my gosh, am I going to regret this when I'm 80? Am I going to think, oh, I'm so glad that I stayed in. I'm so glad that I was boring. No, this, and honestly, this has been pushing me to actually go and do things, because driving, I don't really like driving at all. But driving to go see Lily in college and then driving up to Chicago, Was I tired? Absolutely. Were my eyes absolutely falling out of my head because they were drier than heck and my contacts felt like they were glued? Yes. But you know what? That was a core memory. That's something that I'm going to look back on. And even if I absolutely forget it and I don't like re-find that memory until, Lily and I are chatting in the nursing home, or I'm listening to a podcast episode, or I stumble across a photo that we took. Hopefully I print them out. I'm going to think back and be like, oh my gosh, like I'm not going to remember, or maybe I will remember how tired I was. Maybe I'll remember that, we chatted nonstop 8 hours to each other, just yapping about literally life and everything and just having a great time. Like I'm going to remember that. This past week, I had the Golden Gal Network event. So I was planning for that. My event started at 4:30, so I needed to have everything packed up. It was like an hour drive for me, and I was invited to brunch with a couple girls, and I was like, oh, like, should I cancel and not go to the brunch and just like clean my house because I'm going to be gone for Florida this week? Should I stay home, clean the house, make sure everything's ready, get my mind right? Or should I just go? Should I go and spend the entire day in Kansas City and Leawood, have a blast, and I might get home super, super late? And I did. I got home at like 9 o'clock. So leaving my house at 11 and not coming home until 9, that's a long day. I wasn't home. I wasn't working on anything that could have been worked on. But when I look back, I'm like, oh my gosh, like yesterday I made so many good connections. I had a blast, and I know when I'm 80 years old, I'm going to look back and think, that was so much fun. I'm not going to regret not cleaning my house. Like I'm literally looking around me and it's like dusty and dirty and I have things stacked up. Like I'm not going to be like, oh, this was a mess. You made a mistake. And so that's how I've been like trying to counterbalance my overwhelm and my like fear of mess or just like clutter, honestly, because I have felt like a little overwhelmed. I felt a little like stretched, like definitely I'm getting stretched, and I need to put in some better habits, and maybe that's waking up early, because I have been waking up a little bit early lately, and on those days I do feel more productive. I think I'm finally like getting out of the slump of like sleeping for a long time. In that moment my brain needed it, and I'm not ever gonna like hate on myself for sleeping at this time, but it's time to get active. It's time to expand my days. The days are getting longer. I know that's going to help with my brain, with my motivation, with cleaning the house and everything. But instead of just like getting so worked up about the little things or the things that I feel like are falling through the cracks, I'm instead being where my feet are and focusing on where I'm at in the moment and how to enjoy it, because there is no point in going out or hanging out with my friends and enjoying the time with them if I'm constantly thinking about what I should be doing. And if I'm cleaning the house, if I really did need a mental day, like Monday, I might have to stay home. And I know that, like, you do have to actually reason with yourself and list a pro-con list. Monday, I will probably have to stay home. I will probably have to clean, even though I absolutely don't want to. I will probably not get to hang out with my friends on Monday because I had such a fun Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and that's okay. Like, I spent it in the way that needed to be spent. Oh my gosh. I just like got too excited right there, and I almost spilled my coffee everywhere. That would have been absolutely atrocious. It's Super Bowl Sunday, and so I'm dressed and ready for the Super Bowl. We are driving to Pella, which is adding to, a little bit of stress, right? Like my house is still messy. And now we're going to drive 4 hours to Pella. My parents have rented out a little house and we are going to have a watch party there. It's like kind of meeting in the middle. Lily's at college. She's going to be there. Mom is going to be, my Aunt Holly might come. We're going to come up, and it's a 4-hour drive. So we're also going to spend the night. So we're not going to be here. Monday morning, we're going to have to drive back. And so it's adding to it just a little bit. But I have here, I'm gonna have to put my coffee down on the floor, right? Hopefully I don't knock it over. If you're on YouTube, you have the pleasure of seeing my beautiful sweatshirt. So it has Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift on it. My friend Jenny Snap has a little boutique. It's called Revival Clothing. You can find it on Instagram. I follow it, so if you want to check it out, you can. But she had a little pop-up on Friday, and I went to it, just, ran in. And she had this sweatshirt for sale, and so it's like the iconic nuzzling, like Taylor Swift is like, coming up to Travis, and they're like, kissing a little bit on this when they made it to the Super Bowl. And it says, "In my Super Bowl era." I thought it was so fitting for today. I was like, yes, like it's perfect. It's like the softest material. It's so, so cute. And then paired with it, so it's a white sweatshirt is what I'm saying. Like I almost spilled my coffee all over my white sweatshirt, and that would have been absolutely unfortunate because I haven't even got to show it off. Like I haven't even got to show anybody. And if I stained it before I even got to wear it for the Super Bowl, I'm going to be a little upset. It's Super Bowl Sunday. I'm really excited. I am rooting for the Chiefs, but also the 49ers. I do believe they have a good chance. And Brock Purdy, I mean, you gotta love a kid from Iowa. I grew up in Iowa. It's all the things. Anyways, paired with my little Super Bowl sweatshirt, I have a charm necklace, and I made this at the Golden Gal Network. This was probably my funnest event yet. And it's paired with Lily and I's like little necklace we got in Chicago. I'm feeling like I'm feeling good. Like I'm looking good. I'm feeling good. The charm necklace, guys, if you don't follow me on vlogs, I did vlog our Golden Gal Network event, and you need a little close-up at this chain. Oh my gosh. So I bought a bunch of charms, and then like we had a little charm party. We sat on a table together. This was last night. So this necklace, it's fresh, it's brand new. This chain, it's amazing. It's beautiful. It's got a little bit of red on it. And it's iconic. It's so pretty. I am in the charm necklace like phase right now. I'm loving it, everything about it. But we had the charms on the table. I will say it was very aesthetically pleasing with my tulips and the pink aesthetic and everything. It was lovely. Okay. And the girls who came, that's what makes the event, is the people participating. So we made these little charm necklaces, and we got to pick our own charms, right? Like I had a bunch on the table, and it was so fun to see what everyone picked for their charms. And it was fun to see how they put them together. And now I have a little bit of the Golden Gals on my neck on the Super Bowl. Hopefully it's good luck. Hopefully the Chiefs will win. And I feel like it's an ode to the friendship bracelets that you wear at Taylor Swift concerts, right? And so we have these little charm necklaces as like our friendship, our little gal network. And I don't know, I'm feeling very aesthetically pleasing, very fly. I have my tennis shoes on. I showed you last Friday, trying to break those in for the Super Bowl. But I'm excited. Like we technically still have a 4-hour drive, right? Like, and it's gonna be brutal, and I'm gonna want to just be there immediately. But I haven't spent the Super Bowl with my mom for quite some time, and as a kid, one of my favorite memories was the snacks on the Super Bowl. It was very similar to like our New Year's Eve party. Like we just had a bunch of snacks, including party pinwheels. Now, people have different names for a party pinwheel. I call them a party pinwheel. Some people call them roll-ups. If there's a pickle in them, Garrett calls them a frog eye, which I don't believe still. It does not make sense to me. It makes sense to me, but it doesn't make sense to me. Like that's not what they're called. We always have, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's a tortilla. You have cream cheese, and it's like corned beef or whatever, but it's like sliced corned beef. It comes like in a little deli package. You chop that up, you chop it with some cheese, like shredded cheese, and the cream cheese, and chopped olives, and then we also put like a little slice of pickle. It's not a whole pickle, it's like a sliced pickle. Garrett's frog eye situation is like a whole pickle, ours is not. You roll it up, and then you cut it in like these little wheels. So good, one of my very favorite food, and we only have them at the Super Bowl or New Year's party. I mean, we could have them for other things, but we really don't. It's like Super Bowl specific. We also have like little weenies and chicken wings. I don't know, like the Super Bowl is just, it's one of my very favorite events. Not for the football though. Like I've said it once, I'll say it again. I am not a football sports watcher. Like it's fun, don't get me wrong. Like I will watch it. But really, my alliance is with the event. I love getting people together. I love just like having time to chat and to have, you know, a gathering, to have snacks, to have community. That's my favorite thing, okay? The football is just an added bonus. I am, you know, rooting for the team to win, but honestly, like, it's okay. I could easily have The Bachelor on and it'd be fun, or Love Island or Survivor, right? Like I think we just need something to root behind. And football it's very American, of course, but I am excited to see my family and to be all together for the event. So listen, it's going to be a great Super Bowl. I am glad. Now I'm like cautious because I did put on makeup this morning, and that means I have like a little bit of, you know, tinted moisturizer, which does transfer very orange because when I go to my yoga class, I have white hand towels. I wanted black, but they were sold out. There's these like microfiber towels, and I needed something. Like I could not wait for them to restock for the black ones. So I got the white towels. They're just fine. But my makeup, guys, when I wear makeup, it is so embarrassing. I will be like wiping the sweating drip, or the drip of sweat, whatever, off my face. I look at my towel, orange transfer. It is so gross. And especially like if I do an evening time workout, I might have makeup on that day, and it is just so gross. And now like with a white sweatshirt, I love the aesthetic of a white sweatshirt for sure, but I'm always worried that like my makeup's gonna transfer on it or I'm gonna spill something on it. So knock on wood that I don't spill anything on it, because it's like, it's brand new, so it's super soft on the inside, and I'm hoping that I can wear this, you know, time and time again. I just think it's so pretty. My best friend Kennedy is a Taylor Swiftie, hardcore Swiftie, and she's throwing a party, a little Swiftie party. Maybe I can wear it to the little party. I guess the Eras tour is being put on a broadcast channel, but I can't remember which one it is. She's had it in the movies, but now she's like putting it on a streaming platform. So Kennedy wants to have like a little party. Maybe I'll wear this and be like in my Super Bowl era, especially if we win the Super Bowl. That might be fun, honestly. Like I kind of like it. Or I think it's actually not until April, so maybe I'll just be in my lover era. I'm really unsure, but any sort of event or party I'm down for. Like I absolutely love the vibe, and I think it just goes back to who you're surrounding yourself with and who you are spending the most amount of time with, because you are who you hang out with. And I used to not believe my mom. Right, mothers are amazing in this way, and they usually can notice a fake friend before you can, or they can like see, I don't know, as children, or when you're in a friendship or a relationship, you're kind of like so pinpointed focus, like you don't have the big picture. You're not thinking about the things that like your mom is thinking about. And so like as a kid, she'd be like, remember, Logan, you are who you hang out with, and you know, you need to take a look at your friends and or your boyfriends, or you know, your relationships, or what actions you're doing, you know, and how that might impact you or affect you. And then there's also like the grouping aspect. Like if your friends are troublemakers and you're not, but you just like find friendship with them, maybe you've been friends for like a very long time, and so you know, maybe you were all good kids, right? Because there's no such thing as a bad kid, and just misunderstood kids. And maybe as you guys grow up, that misunderstood kid turns into a bad adult, maybe have bad coping habits, maybe they, you know, just are struggling and they're not in their like growth era. You can be like grouped into that same category, or you can start adopting some of their habits, because I mean, you can brainwash yourself into thinking you're amazing, right? That's where affirmations come in, where you're like, I am healthy, I am wealthy. You know, I love that song. What song is that called? Anyways, you can tell yourself these things over and over, and then you start to believe it. Same goes with the people you like surround yourself with. If they're always like, oh yeah, like my boss sucks, like they just don't understand me, like I work so much for this company, they don't like give me anything. And then you're also working at that company and you're like, oh, I thought it was pretty good, but actually I see what you mean. And then you can start like developing this like one-sided, you know, anger, and really that friend doesn't really think that, but now you've spiraled and you want to also quit your job, right? Like bad energy feeds on other bad energy. And so like if you have a positive mindset and you think, oh, like I'm gonna have a positive mindset and then like I'm gonna uplift them too, great. I think that's important. I try to do that as well. But usually those people aren't my close circle. Those aren't the people that I'm sharing my dreams, my aspirations with. Those are the people that I am, it's kind of like a one-sided friendship where I'm pouring into them and I'm not expecting anything in return. It's just like, okay, I'm just gonna love you for where you're at. My closest friends are the people who are motivating me. They are the people who are inspiring me, and I'm gonna share my like most deepest insecurities. You know, I'm gonna talk to them about, hey, like I'm really struggling with this thing, knowing that they are supportive, knowing that they are going to help me think in a positive way of changing the situation or changing my mindset. And the people who normally have like a negative mindset or like aren't motivated or aren't jiving, like I know it's one-sided. Like I am not going to take anything that they say to, like as true, direct, like this is Bible. No. Like it's nice. Like I'm gonna feed into you, but like that's not the type of friendship where it's like, what is it? Symbiotic. It's more of a friendship. It's like, okay, like I get it. Like I'm gonna pour into you. I don't expect anything in return. And then like my utmost closest friends, that's where I'm actually like digging into, hey, like I'm struggling with this, or I'm having like a horrible bad day. Like how can I move past it and know that they're going to lead me in the right direction, and vice versa. Like they're gonna tell me things and I'm gonna try and lead them in the right direction. When you have the people who would like steer you in the wrong direction or be like, actually like that's horrible, and just like don't give any like solutions, or they're always in a bad mood and they're always kind of bringing you down, I don't jive with that. Honestly, like I can't be in that mindset. I can't be like in that kind of, you know, realm of things. And it just like brings me back to my mom, and she was like, you know what, like you need to choose your friends wisely. And if you're getting in trouble at school because, oh, it was your friends, no, like you're an accomplice, things like that. And as an adult, it really has me rethinking some of my friendships, or even just like taking a step back and thinking, okay, maybe it's not a friendship, maybe it is just an acquaintance, and I think, oh, like I like this person, you know, like we're having a good time. And then like do some reflection. I'm like, okay, why do I like this person? Is it actually like a good thing, or like do I just, I don't know, like am I pulling the wool over my eyes, or is this something that I want to continue to pursue? And that has honestly helped me decide, okay, am I going to deepen this connection, or am I still going to like keep them at arm's length, right? Like it's an associate. You know, we're friendly, but like we're not friends, or we're not best friends, right? And I think that labels are completely fine in a friendship, and it helps me determine, okay, like what am I going to share with this person? Are they going to be able to protect that thing that I share with them? Are they going to be able to like keep it good and close to their heart? Or are they going to absolutely like stomp on it, right? And so and I said it last Monday, you know, your friendships and who you surround yourself, and female friendships specifically, are so important. And like I couldn't be more happy with the people I've been surrounding myself with, and the people that have been lifting me up. And it just goes back to the 80%, the 80 rule. when I'm 80 years old, am I going to be sad or happy with the people I surrounded myself, how I spent my time, what I was doing in my 20s, what I'm doing, preparing for my 30s, because we're halfway to 30, heck yeah. And will I be happy with it? And will I be able to call those friends when I'm 80? Will I be able to pick up the phone and be like, hey, how's it going? Have I nurtured that friendship? Have I done everything that I can for that friendship? That's ever changing. We're always going to be adapting. We're always going to be taking a closer look, and it is, the friendship contract. Sometimes a friendship isn't meant to be until you're 80. Sometimes the friendship is supposed to end when it ends. And I'm happy with that, however it goes. And speaking of friends, books are friends. And honestly, I've just been thinking about Kennedy lately, because we just had this conversation. And Kennedy and I are starting a little bit of a book club. It's called the Lit Chicks. Very exciting endeavor that we're starting. So if you haven't already, you can follow Lit Chicks KC on Instagram and then see our book announcement. But I forgot that I did not share with the book that I'm reading right now. And let me make sure I get this right. None of this is true. I just started this book. I'm fresh in the first couple of pages. And it's another mystery. I've been on this mystery grind, and I think it's so fun. It's just invoking something in my brain that I haven't had for a while. I kind of like being kept on my toes, and I've just been incorporating different ways for my brain to work and challenging myself. I've been painting, I pulled out a puzzle, but that is a conversation for another day. And then also reading hard copy books. And this book, it's giving very, it immediately captured my attention. I don't like it when it's a very slow start. I like something that is snappy. I like something that is going to capture my attention. And with the routines and with trying to put into place some self-care, my nighttime routine is super important to me, and I've been trying to do it in a slow manner. I've tried to not be on any sort of device, right? I'm trying not to be on my laptop, trying not to be on my phone, not on my iPad, any of those things, and to read a physical book. And this one, it's a hard copy. I borrowed it from a friend and I've started to read it. And having a physical book in my hand, it just does something for my brain. And turning on my little red light on my lamp, personally, I think my eyes adjust very quickly to it. And it just gives me this very nostalgic feeling. So if you are looking for friends, if you are looking for people to surround yourself with, you can either join the Golden Gal Network if you're in the Kansas City or surrounding areas. You can join our book club, right? The Lit Chicks KC. And find a community and find those people who build you up. If you're listening to this and you are not anywhere close to Missouri, start your own little social club. Invite friends over to your house. Find those little ways that you can find connection and community, because when you're 80, will you think, oh my gosh, I was so isolated in my 20s, I'm so isolated, in my 30s or when I was 18? Or will you think, I really worked to build community? I really worked to find those friendships and develop those connections, because they are so important. That's how we gain information in the world. And a lot of people see a podcast or a vlog or even gossiping with your friends as something that is inherently bad. But gossiping, and not in the way that is rude, we're not shit talking, right? It's not like that. Maybe we are, but it's not from a deviant core start, right? It's a way to share information, right? If I say, oh my gosh, did you see this on social media talking about The Bachelor? That's a sharing of information. It doesn't have to be labeled as gossip. It's not bad, right? It's how we talk, and having your friendships, having your community is everything. And I know when I look back when I'm 80, I want to be happy with who I've surrounded myself with, and I want to be happy with how I spent my time. So thank you for spending your time with me, spending this last hour with me. I've enjoyed it. Thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!